Nuevamente gracias por venir aquí a su casa, a este recital de poemas escritos por su servidor. Va a ser presentación bilingüe. Today would have been my soulmate Carolina's 75th birthday. 2 weeks ago was the 4th anniversary of her passing from her earth walk to her spirit walk. I debated with myself about holding the recital on her 4th anniversary, but the wound is still overwhelming my sensibilities, and as I will be reading poems written for her while she was still slowly slipping away, as is the case with those afflicted with Alzheimer's. The poems I will recite tonight were all written on the 1st of January of each of 10 of the 12-year struggle with Alzheimer's. Carolina and I had a tradition of watching the New Year's Eve fireworks in Prospect Park, Brooklyn. We lived a block away from the park, and our bedroom window gave us a warm and cozy front row seat for the colorful pyrotechnical displays, avoiding the cold and or the snow, where we were able to toast with champagne the birth of another year together. The first New Year Day after her diagnosis was 2007. I was so completely overwhelmed by the behemoth responsibilities that had been thrust upon me, while also having to teach 5 classes each semester, that I didn't even penetrate my thought process about writing on a specific date. I just wrote when the emotions hit me. And over the 12 years, I wrote 120 poems. The other New Year's Day that I missed writing was 2011, which was 4.5 years into being both a full-time high school native language arts teacher and a primary caregiver, during which time I had not taken a single day off, much less a vacation. I took a vacation, went to Puerto Rico, and Gabi, along with my adopted Colombian granddaughter, which you guys met, they took turns staying at the house, taking care of Carolina. So during her illness, I kept the tradition going, and on each New Year's Eve, I would sit her up at the window and watch the fireworks, and the next day, I would write another poem. I plan to call this collection Amor en el tiempo de Alzheimer's, Love in the time of Alzheimer's. These are the poems I will share with you this evening. 1 de enero 2008. Año nuevo sin quererlo. Trato de lanzar mis penas al viento, solo para casi ahogarme al arrastrar el peso del dolor despertado por el llanto amargo de verte desaparecer con cada pestañeo de mi corazón. Sofoco el balbuceo de mi dolor que busca salir. Dejo todo, apuro el paso, me alejo para soltar en la erupción de sollozos que más no puedo sofocar. Cuidarte día tras día de la vacación permite la intensa amalgación de almas que se despiden, pero el luto prematuro, de gota por gota, arranca pasmos de dolor. El eco de la soledad eterna empieza a sentirse como una tiniebla que penetra hasta el fondo de lo que había ocultado y se pasea conmigo como futura realidad. New Year without wanting it. I try to cast my sorrows into the wind, only to almost drown upon dragging the weight of the pain awakened by the bitter weeping of seeing you disappear with each blinking of my heart. I drown out the babbling of my pain that seeks to exit. I leave everything. I hurry the pace. I distance myself to release the eruption of sobs that I can no longer drown out. Caring for you day after day of the vacation permits the intense amalgamation of souls bidding each other farewell, but the drop by drop premature mourning yanks spasms of pain. The echo of the eternal solitude begins to make itself felt like a fog that penetrates to the depth of what I've hidden, and it strolls with me like a future reality. Dos copas. Dos copas serví para inaugurar el año. Una para ti y otra para mí. Y en la soledad de la anticipación, repetidamente te brindé, como antaño, mas sin tu activa presencia y frenesí. Saludé el año nuevo sin el gusto de tu pasión. 2 glasses. I poured 2 glasses to inaugurate the year. One for you and the other for me. And in the solitude of the anticipation, I repeatedly toasted you as in bygone years, but without your active presence and frenzy. I greeted the new year without the pleasure of your passion. 2009. Tenerlo todo en un vacío. 2010. El tiempo se resbala como arena entre los dedos. Entre los granos se escapan las cosas que entre parejas forman los marcos de los pasos vividos y compartidos. Pero no hace tanto tiempo que la tierra estuvo fértil. El poema se atora en la garganta de mi vida. Sin querer, el año nuevo hecho sobre los desechos, gastados en el esfuerzo de forjar y compartir vidas, como 2 copas que brindan al infinito desconocido. Más de un mes solo, tú y yo, entre los arranques de tristeza sin fondo y los momentos de besos y abrazos como antes y como ahora que nos abrazamos con los ojos. Tener tu compañía sin tener lo que tuvimos tú y yo es tenerlo todo en un vacío. To have it all in a vacuum. Time slips like sand between the fingers. Escaping amongst the grains are things that between partners form the frames of the steps lived and shared. But it's not so long ago that the land was fertile. The poem gets stuck in the throat of my life. Without wanting, the new year is made from the cast-offs, spent in an effort to forge and share lives, like 2 glasses that toast to the unknown infinite. More than a month of just you and me, and in between the wrenches of bottomless sadness and the moments of kisses and hugs like before, and like now when we hug with our eyes. To have your company without having what you and I had is to have it all in a vacuum. This is the year I skipped. Go to 2012. Dos corazones. Marcando los años con nuestros ritos de tradiciones. Nuevamente interrumpí tus sueños para levantar los ánimos que siguen ardiendo en nuestros corazones. Los cohetes tronaban con sus despliegues de pavos reales. Vociferabas tu gusto, entendiéndonos como siempre. Dos corazones palpitando como un mismo corazón. Two hearts. El tiempo pasa. El tiempo pasa sin el obsequio de tu completa presencia. Te puedo abrazar, así como te puedo cubrir de besos. Te puedo platicar lo que se hace pasar por nuestra vida. Te puedo extraer sonrisas y a veces hasta con un coro de tu contagiosa risa. Otro año nuevo recordándonos. Como antes recordados éramos por muchos. Y en el olvido de algunos otros. Como si por alguna ley de armonía y balance. Pasa el tiempo como un anzuelo de recuerdos arrastrados por entre los nudos de nuestras compartidas memorias, de las que hoy día solo me acompaño, mientras te susurro 1000 te quieros, en busca de enganchar un solo eco que alimente la ilusión de que estoy vivo. Time passes. Time passes without the gift of your complete presence. I can hug you as well as cover you with kisses. I can chat with you about what passes as our life. I can extract smiles from you that at times even come with a chorus of your contagious laughter. Another new year remembering ourselves, as before we were remembered by many and forgotten by others, as if by some law of harmony and balance. Time passes like a fishhook of remembrances dragged in between the knots of our shared memories, from which presently I accompany myself, while whispering 1,000 I love yous in search of hooking but one echo that might feed the illusion that I'm alive. ...2014... Eternamente, Carolina. Gracias a Pablo Milanés y a Violeta Parra por haber fluido en mi inspiración. Alcancé a ver tus ojos que guiaban tu sonrisa extensa. Abracé el momento entre nubes de sueños y tinieblas. Acomodé mi cuerpo con las tinieblas contentas, solo para ser desprendido de otro sueño ajeno, con aquella libélula y sus ilusiones de integrada soledad. Me sigues enseñando cómo ser, cómo amar en soledad, con tu hábil naturaleza de humana belleza, mujer, eternamente mujer. La belleza, me dicen, es efímera y por otras a veces malgastada. Y a ti la enfermedad te robará, malgastando toda la obra de tu vida, pero tu belleza afirmará que no estás del todo derrotada, mi amor. Entre las pirotécnicas celebrando otro año, sigues eternamente, belleza de mujer. Gracias, mi vida, por saber cómo darme tanto. Eternally, Carolina, with thanks to Pablo Milanés and Violeta Parra for having flowed in my inspiration. I managed to see your eyes that guided your extensive smile. I embraced the moment among the dreams and fogs. I settled my body with the contented fogs, only to be torn away from yet another's dream. With that dragonfly and its illusions of integrated solitude, you continue to teach me how to love in solitude. With your able nature of human beauty, woman, eternally woman. Beauty, I'm told, is ephemeral, and by others, at times wasted. And the illness will rob you, wasting all your lifetime work, but your beauty will affirm that you're not wholly defeated, my love. Among the pyrotechnics celebrating another year, you go on eternally, beauty of a woman. Thank you, my love, for knowing how to teach me, how to give me so much. Cuantas lágrimas sean necesarias. Gracias a Johnny Hahn por haber fluido con tus teclas en mi inspiración. With thanks to Johnny Hahn, who's playing right now, for having flowed with your keyboard in my inspiration. Cuantas lágrimas sean necesarias. Ecos de los años resaltan de las teclas del recuerdo. Se resbalan bajo la sombra de la báscula del juicio. Se escapan como liebres espantadas de su propia soledad. Mientras que las palabras buscan algún refugio, al ser el recinto de la catástrofe emocional de ir perdiéndote, eternamente dejando el rostro enorme de tu presencia, de tu esencia, como humilde declaración de nuestro amor simbiótico. Whatever tears are necessary. With thanks to Johnny Hahn for having flowed with your keyboards in my inspiration. Incidentally, his song is called Words Escape Me. So I provided the words. Echoes of the years spring from memory's keyboard. They slide under the shadow of the scale of reason. They escape like hares scared by their own solitude. Meanwhile, the words look for some refuge upon being the enclosure of the emotional catastrophe of slowly losing you. Eternally leaving the huge track of your presence, of your essence, as a humble declaration of our symbiotic love. With a wake-up cup of coffee, I pass half-woken yearnings along with the sorrows that begin to yawn. I swallow it so I can cede the place to my voice that greets, awakens, gets up, cleanses, and flirts, telling her of the details of the visit. She also lubricated her eyes. Después de todo, consecutivos años nuevos, desechando a los viejos, reventando cohetes pirotécnicos con sus destellos fugaces que amelgan el susto de la muerte con la promesa brillante de la vida. Las memorias resaltan con sus lágrimas y sonrisas. 32 años nuevos consecutivos contigo. Cuando llevo de la mano al amor de mi vida y el espectro de la muerte quiere alcanzarle la otra, el vacío de mi alma ruge y tiembla su impotencia, a pesar de la insistencia de mis atenciones. De día sigo el rigor de aparente normalidad. De noche no hay sombras que oculten mis penas. After all, consecutive New Years tossing out the old, bursting pyrotechnic rockets with their fleeting flashes that amalgamate the scare of death with the brilliant promise of life. Memories highlight with their tears and smiles 32 consecutive New Years with you. Then I take the love of my life by the hand, while the specter of death wants to reach out for her other. The void in my soul roars and trembles its impotence, in spite of the insistence of all my attentions. By day, I follow the rigor of apparent normalcy. By night, there are no shadows that hide my sorrows. Sueños de intimidad. A Carolina en tu cuarto aniversario. Hay veces que me pregunto dónde andarás, en cuál de los puntos cardinales estará tu espíritu, que aún agita el tambor de mi alma. 4 direcciones, como los años de tu partida. Del norte me fui al oeste, siendo yo del sur de la frontera impuesta, y tu familia siendo del este de las aguas oceánicas. El tiempo pasa ahora con más presencia. sin la desesperada urgencia de lo lento de tu partida. Los versos no gritan con ciega perdición. Ahora tienden a sumergirse en mis sueños, que dan rodeos por imágenes pantanosas, brotando de los impactos que cursé paso a paso, sin soltarte de mis atenciones. 4 veces la tierra madre ha girado al Padre Sol, y la luna mujer, en su turno, entre nueva y llena, las estrellas se guiñen unas a las otras con sus secretos, como recordando travesuras amorosas y coquetas. Y como una emboscada de memorias suprimidas, apareces en mis sueños como ráfagas inquietas de lo que pudiera ser si no estuviese dormido. Despierto queriendo reprimir lo que he tenido que aceptar. Tus besos, tus abrazos, las caricias de tu presencia solo existen en los recuerdos de mi corazón, que mi corazón codicia. La soledad que me acompaña se libera de esas tristezas, porque tu espíritu sigue vivo y seguido me dice, te quiero mucho. Y el amor que engendramos fue único, inigualable. Vivo en la intimidad de mi corazón y sus sueños. Dreams of Intimacy, to Carolina on your 4th anniversary. There are times that I ask myself where you're at. In which of the cardinal points will your spirit be that still agitates the drum in my soul? 4 directions like the years of your departure. From the north, I went toward the west, me being from the south of the imposed border, and your family from the east of the oceanic waters. Time passes now with more of a presence, without the desperate urgency of your slow departure. The verses don't cry out with blind perdition. Now they tend to submerge themselves in my dreams, that circle about swampy images, sprouts from the impact that I issued, step by step, without letting go of my attentions. 4 times Earth Mother has turned around Father Sun, and Moon Woman that takes turns between new and full. The stars wink at each other with their secrets, as if recalling loving and flirtatious mischiefs. And like an ambush of suppressed memories, you appear in my dreams, like restless flashes of what could be if I were not asleep. I awaken, wanting to repress what I've had to accept. Your kisses, your hugs, the caresses of your presence, they only exist in the memories that my heart covets. The solitude that accompanies me frees itself from that sadness, because your spirit is still alive and often tells me, I love you a lot. I live in the intimacy of my heart and its dreams. And for those that know me, I dabble with numerology, and even my son didn't get it. But this has 4 stanzas of 7 verses. 4 stanzas, 1 for each year. 7 verses. 7 is the number of days in a week. Half of the poem, two stanzas, is the 14th. The full 4 stanzas is 28, which is today, her birthday.